Well, hello. I'm Bright Chase, composer, illustrator, and tarot reader, here to talk about the tarot with card readers and other curious souls. This channel, just so you know, is dedicated to exploring tarot card reversals. It's for anyone who's curious and new to tarot, or anyone who just wants to learn more about tarot cards and tarot reading. My goal is to make these videos useful to everyone who stops by, so if you're new to the channel, this is the place to start. In this video, I'm going to give you some basic approaches to reading reversals. And I'll give you two simple ways to read a reversed card that you can use right away without learning any new or alternative meanings for individual tarot cards. Welcome to Bright Reflections. Now, you probably know tarot is an interpretive art or practice. That's because tarot cards themselves aren't intelligent. Every card represents an isolated idea, action, or feeling, and any one card can only spotlight or highlight an area in your life or a part of a situation for you to look at. After that, it's up to the reader to work out the context and the meaningful details of the cards individually, and more importantly in combination, and figure out how the pieces of the tarot puzzle fit together. That's where your intuition or your feelings about the cards are important. So when you're reading tarot or having your tarot read for you, it's important to engage your own sensibility about what you're seeing in the cards and to understand how the message is relevant to you. Now, as a tarot reader, I usually read one of three ways, depending on the question or what my client asks for. First, there's the classic predictive or divination reading, what can happen or might happen in the future. Then there's the personal psychology of a situation, which tends to be my favorite and most practically helpful interpretation. And third, looking at the cards to get an objective overview of a situation or to get the querent or the person asking the question outside of their head or your own head if you're reading for yourself, and to get out of your own way so you can see what surrounds you a little more clearly and hopefully get a firm foot on the ground. Now, personally, I think the psychological and overviews approach usually work together really well. They often come together. Even if you're only intending to read one way, you'll see both. And to be fair, a lot of readers, myself included, will use spreads that help give us all three aspects together, which makes a reading really helpful, really useful, and rich with insight. Now, when I was first introduced to the tarot years ago, it was standard to read cards in the upright and reverse together. But over the years, especially recently as tarot has gotten more popular and more common, it's become really standard to read only the upright meanings. And it is true, there is enough of a spectrum of ideas and symbols in the 78 cards of the tarot to cover pretty much anything. But then it happens, and my fellow readers will know this from experience, when you least expect it and probably least want it, a card will come up in reverse. Even though you've been careful shuffling and even though you're committed to reading only upright meanings, boom, that unexpected reversal always makes you jump. It just flops out onto the table like, whoops, here I am. What we'll do together on this channel is talk about that reversal moment, card by card, and consider how a reversal or multiple reversals combined with the upright cards in any spread can give you a deeper perspective in a reading and help you fill out some details and maybe consider some aspects of the question you might not have seen if you were only reading cards in the upright. So when a reversal shows up, like it or not, it's like a spotlight shines on that card. Bam! It gets featured in the reading. It becomes important, even if it only makes you take a second look at the reversed card. Now, this is a great place to start talking about reading tarot reversals because whether or not you interpret the reversed cards with an alternative meaning, there can be something significant about a card showing up reversed. If there weren't, you probably wouldn't feel that pit in your stomach when that card showed up. So in a reading, when a card does show up reversed, make a note of it. Even if you don't give it a special meaning, you can treat the card a little differently. Now, as for the card's meanings individually, I know a lot of people immediately think, oh, upside down, This card means the opposite of what it means in the upright. Possibly true, sometimes true for some cards, certainly, but you can get more out of the card by going deeper. If I'm honest, that is the first thing I think of, but with practice I've learned to check myself and go deeper into a reversal because I don't want to short myself on a potential insight or piece of guidance that could be helpful. So here are 2 ways you can read reversals to get more from your reading without learning any alternative reversed meanings. Number 1, how does the meaning of this card change when you phrase it as a question instead of a statement? So this is a terrific trick for any interpretation because it prompts you to answer questions about your perception of the card and fill in the blanks in a reading. If you look at the reversed card as a question, it's really a potent way to show how you may be responding to or handling a situation. Personally, I really like this method because the minute you ask the meaning as a question, phrase it as a question, you begin to activate your own internal wisdom by answering it or just trying to answer it. Number 2, look at where or how the energy of the card is lacking, blocked, or absent from the rest of the reading. Another way to look at that would be to ask, how has this energy not shown up or hasn't become obvious in the situation yet? So it's about looking at where that particular energy is sort of in a shadow or not obvious to the reader or querent at this time. A last tidbit of advice before I go, think about working with tarot reversals intentionally. It is a great way to diffuse your dread of reversals because if you're already committed to working with reversals before you pull even a single card, a reversal can't catch you by surprise. You'll actually be looking for it. And what I like about this is it gives me some control over the reading, which is exactly why we work with tarot spreads, right? Like the 10-card Celtic Cross. It's a 10-card spread, not a 65-card spread, gosh forbid. It's only 10 cards, and each card has a meaningful position in the reading. I have some methods for working with reversals specifically, which I'll talk about in other videos. But I encourage you to invent your own practice for putting reversals into your readings by inviting reversals to speak meaningfully. Now, I strongly encourage you to follow your intuition and to experiment. So think about how you can intentionally integrate reversals into your reading practice to get deeper insight from your cards and empower yourself as a reader. You might start by just inverting one card intentionally and seeing if and where it shows up in a reading. I'm going to leave it there today, but I will dedicate a separate video to each of the methods I just shared, as well as the explorations of each of the 78 individual tarot. You can look for those as they are posted, and in the meantime, be sure to subscribe and click the little bell to get the notifications when I put up new videos. I'd also love to hear how you read reversals, so leave a comment below. Hopefully I've given you something to reflect on and illuminated your connection to the cards and their messages. For more, check back here. And finally, if you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing your comments below. So, for today, this is Bright saying, be well, be bright, and always be.